another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you some interesting morsels in the world of sports, entertainment, news, and whatever else we want to talk about on this hour-long podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And thank you guys for tuning in. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. We've got plenty of topics to talk about in this hour-long podcast. But before we get to it, Mikey, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't remember what I did.
I noticed you switched up your glasses.
Yes, I did.
If you're having the video podcast,
I have new glasses. Actually not new.
Mikey, I call them the Harry Potter glasses. Have you been playing Hogwarts Legacy too much?
No, actually, I haven't played any video games recently. It's quite sad. But no, yeah, these are my Harry Potter glasses. They're perfectly round. I've been told I look somewhat like Harry Potter when I have the glasses. No, I scratched.
You're a wizard, Mikey.
I wish. I wish. I wish.
Ooh.
No, I scratched.
I wish. For some reason, you're the Mel Brooks version of Harry Potter.
That would be a good movie.
I wish I was a wizard.
I wish I was a wizard. No, that sounds like a great movie.
Merchandising.
That's exactly what they did.
If only Mel Brooks was like 15 years younger. Yeah, he probably could have done a good Harry Potter.
Good Harry Potter spoof.
Spin-off, yeah.
Just do it anyway, Mr. Brooks. Get it done.
Yeah, poor me. He's in his 80s.
What was his last movie? When did that come out? I don't even remember.
Well, I guess technically it was History of the World Part 2, but I don't know how active
series.
He actually was involved in it.
He narrated, I think. I don't think he actually appeared in it, though. He's ancient.
Poor man. Give him a break.
I just, every once in a while, when one of his movies...
He's ancient.
No, I mean, every once in a while, when one of his movies comes on, I'm reminded, any day now, Mel Brooks could leave us. And it makes me a little sad.
What a way to start off the Crispy Noodle podcast, Mike, full of optimism. Have you been watching Philadelphia sports histories or something? What are you doing? You sound like a typical disgruntled Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it.
I watch a great movie, and then it reminds me of his demise.
Right, exactly. Oh, that was funny. He's probably going to die now.
I was so excited about Jalen Hurts. Oh, and we lost the Super Bowl.
I have to admit, though, is that there is a certain level of automatic pessimism that comes with being from this region. No?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what
I just always expect the worst of everything.
It depends on what era of Philly sports you grew up in.
Yeah.
Because, I'm jealous of some of my nephews.
Oh, they only know the good times.
They only know, the Eagles' Super Bowl runs. And I'm
what's the oldest?
Son of a
bitch. They're in high school, right?
I was around, when the Phillies were in the 90s when they were losing every single game.
Yeah.
And they were just trash in that division. The Montreal Expos were laughing at us. They're not even a team anymore.
And people might say,
do kids even know what Montreal is?
But and people might say that we were lucky when it comes to the Eagles because we had so many great playoff runs. But to them, I would say, yeah, but we were taught early on as children that nothing good lasts forever, and we constantly had our hopes dashed at the finish line.
Yeah.
With 3 straight conference losses, and then the Super Bowl loss. Boom, 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 4 years in a row. It was devastating.
It was the Eagles were never supposed to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I was always taught, whenever there's something good,
yeah, the other shoe's coming.
No. Yeah, there's always another shoe. So I'm just waiting for the other shoe.
Well,
just perpetually with everything.
So actually, this is why you should be a Sixers fan, because the Sixers haven't had any success.
Oh, the Sixers are trash.
It never works out for the Sixers. We always get stuck in the second round.
No, they can never. It's like the Eagles of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing new glasses. That's how that started.
Yeah, we didn't even get into actual sports content yet.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I mean, my weekend was, we did some stuff for Father's Day. I scratched my glasses up, so I pulled out, this is a spare pair that I had, my Harry Potter glasses. That was my whole weekend, was just eating food for Father's Day and then getting used to these new glasses. Getting used to new glasses is such a pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get the new, because the lenses are a different shape. And
yeah, see, that's the thing. You have a completely different shape with your glasses.
Right.
I always kind of stick to my rectangle.
Right.
I feel like they fit my face better.
Exactly. So I had
You're
switched to
going-
rectangular.
yeah.
And so
You're
like
going completely different shape.
and it's been frustrating and painful because even the arms, they dig into the side of my head because my head's too big. I guess. I don't know. So like the whole past 2 days I'm like bending them and twisting them and like trying to like shape the the frame just the way I like it. So
wait,
that's been my plight.
So your regular glasses got scratched. What happened?
Yeah, they're like 4 years old. I haven't been to the eye doctor in like 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't been since 2019. So like everybody's like, you got to go. I'm like, I can still kind of see.
Yeah, but
so,
no, they my doctor says you gotta get an eye exam every year.
Every year, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you should get new glasses like every year or two because your eyesight changes.
Yeah, mine's getting worse.
Mine's been worse.
Yeah, but I feel like mine's like I can actually like notice I'm getting progressively worse when I don't wear my glasses.
Oh, really?
I'm just like, oh my god, I'm out of focus as hell.
Yeah.
I like there was a time where like if I had to, I could survive.
Really? You
Now-
could survive without glasses?
It
I don't know
back,
I don't know what that's like.
back like 6 or 7 years ago. If the apocalypse happened, which by the way, sorry for fellow glasses people.
We're all doomed.
Yeah, if you wear glasses regularly, you're not going to make it in the apocalypse.
Just let the wild dogs take me.
Yeah, just go out on a high note, have fun, get drunk, get high, whatever. But yeah, like I would say like 6 years ago, if I had to, if like, if it was an apocalypse, I probably could have survived with
You could have stumbled
my vision.
around.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm just blurry as hell. Like
Yeah.
I can't even, I'm bad.
No, like if I'm not looking through my glasses, like I can't even see. If I didn't know it was a camera on a tripod, I wouldn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Like that's how
For
bad,
all you know, that's a monster.
like that's how bad my vision is.
There-
It's just like this weird black stick thing.
That's a evil snake coming at you.
Could be.
Yeah, you don't even know. So
Could be.
yeah, if there is ever an apocalypse, it's going to be terrifying for people that wear glasses.
Oh yeah.
It's
So I hope that doesn't happen.
yeah, it's the end. Just
I'm just gonna eat myself and drink myself silly and just let like whatever pack of wild roving animals just
yeah,
yeah.
just enjoy your last. Wow,
I don't know. This got really dark.
We have been so positive to start off the
Can
show.
you? So did you do anything positive this weekend? Offer us some levity. What did you do?
I watched U.S. Open.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's positive.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you do for Father's Day weekend. You
want
watch the U.S. Open.
Golf.
Yes.
There you go.
That's what you do. So, you know what? How about we just jump right into the first batch of topics?
Please.
Yes, please. Sound like you're being tortured. Please. Oh, God.
We got so far off the rails here. Let's do it.
All right. Officially, let's launch into the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Yep, sports coming at you in your face here in this first part of the show. Let me just jump right into golf because I mentioned the U.S. Open. So
Sure.
Why not? We'll kick it off with golf. It was a very interesting U.S. Open, the third major of the year, being held at the Los Angeles Country Club, which
A little fancy.
a little fancy, but was also kind of had some oddities between the fact that it was all the way out on the West Coast. So for here on the East Coast here in Philadelphia, Rachel lamented, but it was golf time from for us 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh no, primetime golf.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rachel was like, "There's no way to escape."
Yeah, because when it's in the middle of the day, you're like, oh, sorry, we got this thing to go do or this thing. But when you're 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Sunday, there's only one thing you're doing.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
golf, right?
Watching some major
Yeah.
golf tournament. Yeah. So for me, it worked out. But for a lot of wives out there, I guess it didn't work out. But no, it was interesting to watch golf at that alternate hour. It was basically 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. There was also in the first round of this tournament on Thursday, just unprecedented levels of scoring. I mean, there were lots of low scores being posted. Two people posted a 62, which is 8 under in
That's
one round.
Wow. Yeah, that seems. Usually you don't see that, right?
No,
It's usually like 1 or 2 or 3 under.
Nope. Those two scores are tied for the lowest round ever in a major.
Wow.
One of them was Ricky Fowler, who was the golfer. Remember, we had a story a couple years ago who was
He
voted
the most overrated, right?
and
Yeah.
in the following tournament, he smoked everybody. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you vote me overrated. Guess what? Bam. Well, he may have had that attitude for the first 2 rounds, but the weekend swallowed him up. It's a shame. He actually, he goes to having one of the most historic rounds ever in major history. But then the weekend got away from him, and on Sunday he posted a 75, which pretty much negated his first round and had him fall down the leaderboard and out of contention. So unfortunately for fans of Ricky Fowler, they thought maybe this was going to be it where he could get his first major, but that was not the case with a stunning collapse on Sunday. So nevertheless, though, we still did have very interesting action on Sunday. It came down to American golfer Wyndham Clark and Rory McIlroy. And I gotta say this time, we've been talking about Rory McIlroy in these scenarios that he blew it or, he stumbled down the lane or something, stumbled on Sunday. I gotta say, I think he played pretty much as well as you possibly could have.
Okay.
Unfortunately, just Wyndham Clark, I think he just happened to edge him just one more stroke better. They both played pretty flawless golf, the back 9 on Sunday. It wasn't like a choking
Right.
gimmick or anything like that. But unfortunately, the facts are still the facts. Rory finishes with 271 strokes. Wyndham Clark finished with 270 strokes, and that's the difference. And Wyndham Clark finishes as U.S. Open, and this is his first major, so he's very excited. I'm sure that's gonna put him all over, the rosters for future events. That'll always be tagged with him. Current U.S. Open champion right now. But I do got to say, Rory McIlroy, it didn't seem like he choked this one away. It just the scores. It's not his fault.
I mean, that's good for golf fans out there. Super close, really high quality game.
Yeah,
that's what you like to see.
Yeah. What's the slogan? We should have your mom in here. There's this line from Picard where he says something like, "You can still play the game, make no mistakes, and still lose." And that's
something. I know what you're talking about. It's something like that. Yeah, it's like you can make. Yeah, it's essentially like you can make no mistakes and still lose, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just what seemed to happen with Rory. I mean, that Sunday was. I mean, other than maybe asking for a hole in one on a par 3 or an eagle on a second shot. Like, I mean, there's not.
Sometimes sometimes you can play your best game and somebody's still gonna edge you out. You know?
And this is I double checked it. Rory McIlroy's score of 271 strokes is the lowest score to not win a major tournament.
Wow.
So it's just unfortunately,
just one of those freak things.
You weren't the best out of all the players that you were playing against.
Literally any other time he would have won it, but it just happened to be the one time.
Yep. So Rory McIlroy, just a tough loss to swallow, but at least it wasn't anything. It wasn't like a collapse or a choke or anything like that. It was just better play from Wyndham Clark, who will go down as the U.S. Open champion for this year. One more thing I want to mention with the U.S. Open was an interesting scenario with Cameron Smith. I know you love it when wacky, one-of-a-kind scenarios happen.
I do like the weird golf rules.
Well, mostly the golfers can't use golf carts, but security can use golf carts.
They can't use golf carts?
No.
Why?
Golfers are expected to walk the course.
Who cares?
It's part of the game, Mike.
What?
Don't you question it.
Okay.
So security, though, is allowed to use golf carts and
right.
go back and forth and stuff like that. Cameron Smith had a tee shot bounce off of a cart path and land, out of all places, in a security golf cart. and everybody was wondering.
Inside the golf cart.
Yep, inside.
So the rule is you got to play it where it lies, right?
Yeah, that's usually what the rule is.
So, or you got to take what's it called, like a drop. There's like a penalty, right? Where you have to move the ball.
Right. But
So
luckily,
what happens here?
Yep. Luckily, the USGA rules officials on site were able to deem that it was not. It was an extracurricular interference of his ball.
Yeah, they should have put the cart somewhere else.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't.
security's fault, not
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't his fault. So he was able to take a drop without penalty, away, one club length away from the cart.
What a cheater!
But
That gave him an edge.
but just like,
That's
what
ridiculous.
are the odds?
What are the odds of it? Yeah, bouncing and landing inside the
And it
cart.
stayed in there. Like, it could have just like ricocheted in. Golf cart's pretty open.
Right.
Like, just ricochet out of there.
Right. No, but it stayed in there.
Yeah, it freaking stayed in there.
Force him to take the shot. Play it where it lies.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But no, he was entitled to relief and was able to take a free drop without penalty. But I just thought, I know you like to hear wacky cases. Yep,
Because it happens sometimes. There was one time, God, I don't know, years ago where it like landed on an anthill or something.
Yep.
And like somebody was like, oh, it's outside interference because it's an animal. But then the rules were like, no, animals don't count as obstacles
Yeah,
or some crazy
They
BS.
basically
like,
had to have a biological argument over, do ants count
like,
as animals?
Yeah, are ants animals? It's like, what?
Yeah, I remember that.
You need
yeah.
a biologist on staff now at these golf events.
Yeah. So that was an interesting little scenario. Also, actually, speaking of, there was a small incident with Rory McIlroy. He had a shot on Sunday where his ball got embedded into like the cliff of the sand trap, and where the green is, like it was like the sand trap was like a foot below where the green was,
Right.
and his ball, instead of like bouncing and falling into the sand trap or bouncing up, it just got embedded into like the wall of the sand trap, and they
Okay.
didn't know like
Like, what do you do?
yeah, what do you do? And
Well, what did they do?
so for that, it was labeled that it wasn't due to his fault. So he was able to take a drop with one club length away from the ball getting stuck in.
That's so weird.
Yeah, like
Like-
how does the ball, like you would think like it would bounce or something.
Right. But also, how do they determine it's not a golfer's fault? You know, like
That's why you
like,
have a-
like maybe Cameron Smith shouldn't have shot it onto the path. Maybe Rory McIlroy shouldn't have landed on the edge of the sound trap. What if you just put a little bit more mustard behind it?
That's what the
You know-
rules officials are there for.
It's so like they're just making up the rules as they go.
I mean, there is
Yeah,
a book.
not your fault.
There-
Yeah, but how did what's the line?
It's interpretation.
So if you shoot into the water hazard, it's not my fault.
No, that
the
is
wind,
your fault.
The wind, Rich. The wind.
No, you are supposed to take the wind into consideration.
So why
That is
did
your
Rory take the wind into consideration when his ball landed exactly where it did? Like it doesn't. It's very
Well, I guess more
splitting
like
hairs
well,
for me.
Well, more it's like that's a weird function of the golf course.
Okay.
You know, it's like that should not have happened. Usually, in any other golf course, in 99% of the other cases, the ball is supposed to ricochet either
Right.
back into the sand trap or ricochet and get off of it. And because you didn't have like that chance of happening, it's not your fault. You get a drop. You get relief.
But could someone also say that, like, I'm sure there's cases where the ball gets like embedded into the ground itself, right?
If it's really wet, yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't claim that as they would say that's the golfer's fault.
It depends. It depends on how crazy we're talking about.
I don't know,
If
man.
it goes like so into the ground that you can't,
Gotta hack away at the dirt.
yeah, like I think you would get relief for something like that.
I don't know, man.
Now, if
It's wild to me.
if it just rolls and gets a little mud on it, no, you got to deal with that.
I don't know.
It also depends. Are you playing? You're gonna love this. It's
Oh, that's right. There's different season rules, right?
But
Oh, my
besides
God.
the PGA, I mean, we're obviously at professional level, we're talking strict rules of golf. But in most, clubs that you go to, they'll tell you, is it summer or winter rules? Because if it's summer rules, that means, yeah, you cannot touch the ball from tee to green. But if it's winter, then you're allowed to clean the ball off and all that stuff. Don't you
It's
love
the,
this
it's
conversation?
the Wild West out there when it comes to golf. I act like football's the end all be all, but football also has its issues, like what is a catch?
Yeah,
The
we've
process,
had that discussion.
The process of a catch. It's hard to quantify things like sports
And like you
activities.
think with a thick book, you think like we would have every single
Nope.
scenario mapped out, and
Nope. It's impossible.
These tournaments show you that that's not the way it works.
What if a ball lands on a fan's hamburger at the same time a seagull is swooping down and it picks up the ball? Whose fault is that?
Well, there has been a
Oh
scenario.
my God! Shut up.
There has been a scenario where a seagull steals a ball.
And what happened?
You get the golfer gets relief at the spot where the ball came to rest.
Now, what if the golfer hits the ball and it hits a bird that's flying by? Is that the golfer's fault or the bird's fault?
I guess it's the bird's fault.
So the golfer gets relief in that case too. But if it lands
I
on
don't
an
know.
but if it lands on an anthill, it's the golfer's fault.
Yeah, that's because they're not animals.
See what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. What happens if it lands on an anthill? Those are not animals, but then out of the anthill emerges a gopher.
It's basically Caddyshack now at this
The
point.
gopher takes the ball, but then a hawk comes down and gets the gopher. But
All right,
then
who's the top predator?
right, it goes all the way up to this, like
Who's higher up on the food chain?
is that how they do it?
That's what I need to know. That's how we'll make a decision. Yes.
Oh, man.
So golf is fun like that. There's a lot. When you
Such
think,
a weird, like that doesn't happen in any other sport.
When
Like
you- when you-
baseball, football, that doesn't even cross their mind.
when you think golf and their thick book has everything laid out. Nope. There's still still
Continue to
things.
surprise.
Yeah, things that you're just like, what? Yeah, I've never seen this happen. So that's the fun part about watching golf, in my opinion. You
Yeah.
never know.
I just like to hear the stories after the fact.
Yeah.
I can't watch 4 days of this to watch one golf ball bounce. But that's why you do, so you can
That's-
tell me
right.
and everybody listening.
Right, I do the work, so you don't have to
Right, exactly.
watch the whole thing. But I do love enjoying the major championships. So with that in mind, we'll look ahead. One more left. It's the British Open in July, and then we are done for the most part for the golf season. So then my golf heart is sad.
But it's been a fun golf season with the live
Oh,
and
boy.
weird rules
Yeah,
and
Notice I just said only the golf major season. Yeah, I mean we still got developments on the live versus PGA Tour.
I'm sure
sure we're going to be talking about that in the golf off season. So, not the end of golf news, but for actual play major championships, we only got one more in July, the British Open or the Open, if you want to be fancy. So
Fancy
damn
Brits.
Europeans.
Yeah.
How dare
Ugh.
you? It's just the Open.
The Open.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's jump around now to basketball. We had
Yeah.
an interesting story here.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. The case of Ja Morant. He was suspended back in May, first off, by the Memphis Grizzlies because a social media video came out where he was in a club and he decided to show off his handgun and just started, they call it brandishing it. He was waving it around late at night at this club, and this video got posted all over social media. Instantly, the Grizzlies suspended him for the rest of their season, which was only a couple games at that point. It was already the end of the season. But the hammer came down now from the NBA because you have your team suspension. That was within the organization. But then now the league actually has done a thorough investigation and has decided to bring the hammer down on Ja Morant. And they are suspending him for the first 25 games of the upcoming 2023-24 season.
So that's a lot of time.
That's a big deal. That's a third of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, such a dumb move by this guy because as I'm reading up on it, the original suspension was for brandishing the gun in a nightclub. Then, actually, what happened is a month or two later, he was caught again on an Instagram live,
Yeah, doing this
brandishing a
again.
gun. Like, after the first time, you got to know you're going to get hit with the heavy suspension the second time.
And the league is keeping an eye on you.
Right.
Like, come on.
You know, the things that sometimes people overlook is that these leagues it's a brand, right? It's a business. Like, we're like, oh, go Sixers, go Eagles. Like, we view it as hometown pride, getting behind our sports teams. The Eagles and the Sixers and these teams, they are businesses, they are brands. So when a player damages that brand by doing something stupid like that, they're well within their right to bring the hammer down on them. And they did in a big way here. 25 games, that's 30% of the season.
Yeah,
just
third
about.
of the season. But what's more shocking, in my opinion, is the timing of this, because Ja Morant is going to be looking for a new contract after this season. And with his stats, all he needed was one more season where he would be voted All-NBA. And he had already, I think, had 3. He needed a 4th season to be voted All-NBA, which he could have done either in the previous season or this upcoming season. But now, because he was suspended towards the end of last season, he's not going to get it for that season, and he's going to get suspended for the 25 games of the upcoming season, so he can't get it for the upcoming season. So because of that, he doesn't fulfill that request for an incentive where he could have gone up in terms of contract levels to a supermax contract,
Right.
where he could have got as much as $40 million, and Powerade dropped him as as a celebrity endorsement. So altogether, because of his hijinks, he has lost probably somewhere in the round of $50 million.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And that's not hyperbole.
I declare bankruptcy!
I don't know about bankruptcy, but definitely a
I mean,
lot of money to lose over something stupid.
This kid, I mean, he's 23, he's a kid. He was on the cusp of becoming like that next wave of the face of the NBA. There's always like a handful of players that everybody looks to. He was like just about to reach that point. I mean, 2-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA second team, most improved player, rookie of the year, all rookie first team back in 2020. At a very, point guard is a flashy position, the focal point of the offense. And just to do something stupid like that twice.
Yep.
Twice within
Yep.
like 2 months.
Why?
Just put it away, guy.
Yeah, leave the gun at home.
Like what?
Why
like,
is it so hard?
Why you're a multimillionaire? What are you trying to prove by flashing your gun out in
tough.
public? Yeah, tough. No,
I'm tough.
no. Go take your tens of millions of dollars and go, have a nice fancy dinner. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, I think that says it all. Like, he's probably going to lose around $50 million when all is said and done. He doesn't get the Supermax contract.
That's a shame.
He loses the endorsement with Powerade. I mean, that's not hyperbole. That sounds like the amount of money he's going to lose because of this stupid decision. What a bonehead.
Yeah.
Just if you think you messed up recently, at least you didn't lose a possible $50 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is one thing.
Yeah.
So remember, there's always somebody dumber.
Yes. So that was a shocking news bulletin that came across the sports feed over the past week. And if you're a fan of the Grizzlies or Ja Morant, sorry, you will not be seeing him for the first third of this upcoming season.
What a bonehead.
Yep. All right, so now with that out of the way, let's prove that we're not boneheads, because what we're going to do is we're going to try and introduce our new segment where we're going to try and talk about 2 topics in 3 minutes or less with the 3-minute drill. You ready, Mikey?
I'm ready.
There's the clock. 3 minutes on. What do you got?
All right, well, first up, we don't really cover a lot of hockey here, but the NHL Stanley Cup wrapped up with the Las Vegas Golden Knights defeating the Florida Panthers in 5 games. That's 4 games to 1. Miami, where the Panthers are based out of, they lost both the NBA and the NHL finals in back-to-back nights.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you think Philadelphia was bad?
Yeah, Philly was like, oh, we lost 2 championships, within the same couple of months.
4
but this-
months, yeah.
4 months. This is back-to-back nights. That is rough. But what makes this doubly unique is the fact that the Las Vegas Golden Knights have only been in existence for 6 seasons. They're an expansion team, and they've already reached the pinnacle. Does this make them the most successful expansion team pretty much ever? I mean, 6 years.
So not only did they win this year, they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in their opening year.
That's right. I remember that.
So,
yeah.
just by virtue of those 2 seasons alone, I think you have to put them down as the most successful expansion team ever.
They're better than the vast majority of NFL teams.
The Flyers!
The Flyers.
What have the Flyers done in the last 6 years? Nothing!
Nothing.
Nothing!
Yeah, I mean...
There you go. There's your answer.
See what I mean about Philadelphia always has to expect the other shoe, right? It's every time there's something good, then you're reminded how bad it really is for us.
Yeah.
But we may have some good news on the horizon. Some Eagles insiders are suggesting that GM Howie Roseman could have one final move up his sleeve before the season starts. We got a few months here.
Yeah, this came from Derek Gunn.
Derek Gunn, yeah, so he's in the know.
Yeah, he's a trusted source within the organization.
Yeah, and there's lots of big names in free agency still out there. All positions that the Eagles either need help with or they like to have depth in. And a lot of these free agents are under 30, so who we getting, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options out there.
A lot of running backs. Do we need help at running back? I mean, Dalvin Cook.
We
just talked about last 2 weeks, a week or two ago, right?
Yeah, but there's also Kareem Hunt out there, and
yeah, the Eagles were in the chase for him a few years ago.
Yeah, so it's interesting how I have a list of the top 10 free agent prospects, former running backs. I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I'm interested in cornerback Marcus Peters, though. I mean, that would be a really big get for us. We are a little bit weak at safety. He doesn't play safety, but, maybe switching things up and playing deep dime packages or something with extra corners. I mean, anything could help.
Peters would be a very interesting addition to that backfield.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that being the move here.
And I think a lot of these old vets, they're all under 30, but they're all 28. They could be had for cheap.
Yeah, so there you go. Check out the free agency market, baby. There you go. The scream means that's the end of the 3 minutes. There you go. Make sure we got that scream in.
Absolutely.
Wake everybody up. But yeah, it's look, at least the Eagles, we've been kind of saying Philly sports have been disappointing recently, but the Eagles, they're looking pretty strong in an NFC East, and actually the whole NFC conference looks pretty weak compared to what the Eagles have put together.
I mean, who's out there? The 49ers and the Lions.
Yeah,
are really the 2 top competitors, I think.
So I mean, that could be, that could bode well for this upcoming season. The Phillies are actually getting hot recently. They've actually matched their benchmark to where they were this time last season. So. Maybe there's still some magic happening in South Philly.
Okay.
We don't know, but it's not all doom and gloom.
No, we got good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah. The only thing we have that's doom and gloom is the fact that we lost I-95.
Yeah, well, we can't win it. We can't have it all.
Yeah, rest in peace, I-95.
Like I said, there's always another shoe.
Yeah. But other than that, Phillies, Eagles looking pretty good. So we'll see how they fare as the year rolls on. But for right now, that'll wrap up the Sports Sampler. We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we return from the break. Don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
yes,
I love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh my god.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're gonna have to. Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and-
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine
Oh,
what
what you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Giving you a podcast every week that we try and put together, make it interesting for you in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We're entering the entertainment entree, and I just noticed, Mike, you're wearing your N7 Mass Effect shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Mass Effect gotta represent.
Has there been any update on whatever the supposed next?
No.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it was gonna be a long wait when was it teased, like 2021?
Oh yeah, it was that
like-
poster with Liara on it, right?
Yeah. It's they had like a weird little like snippet. It was like a few seconds, and they had like another poster, but they still have to come up with a Dragon Age game first, which is due out I think next year.
Does video games get affected by the writer's strike?
No, thankfully not. I actually don't quote me on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be in the same wheelhouse.
It might be. God, just pay the writers, people. There's
Yeah.
no update on that I've seen yet either, other than
They're going on a month and a half now.
yeah,
Oof.
and everything is getting pushed back. I mean, I think we mentioned it briefly last week. Disney pushed back their entire slate. Everything's getting delayed, and
Yeah.
this fall, like right now, everything is coming out that was already in post production. But this fall, there's gonna be like nothing new. Cobra Kai was delayed. Stranger Things was delayed.
Yeah. So
Abbott Elementary, like
hopefully,
everything.
hopefully you're not, burning through your binging list because you
Save something.
you might need some of those items in the fall when there's nothing on TV.
Yeah. Anyway,
But speaking of TV, that is our transition into the second part of the show that revolves around stuff like that in the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, there you go. Officially in entertainment entree territory. Let's see. Let's start off the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with movies, TV, and video games. Hopefully this segment still remains when we get into the fall, because
it'll be interesting.
Yep. But for right now, it is safe with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, luckily, this is actually a jam-packed This Week in Entertainment. Stuff is still coming out. And in theaters, we have a new Wes Anderson film hitting theaters this week. Asteroid City is a dramedy about a junior space cadet camp that is completely changed by world-changing events. That's a very vague synopsis.
Okay.
Like with all of his other films, if you're not already a fan of his, you're probably not going to enjoy it that much, but you can't deny the style and the flair. There's just something about a Wes Anderson film that's just, very...
It's more art.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Colorful,
yeah.
It's...
There's a trend going around where, like, everybody's, like, doing TikToks in, like, Wes Anderson style. Like,
yeah.
It's fun. So, go check it out.
Everything is shot down the center.
Everything's, like, perfectly symmetrical and, like, aligned and, like, it's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
The
stories are weird.
That's one of the best works of art.
I think he did. Did he do Moonlight Kingdom or something?
Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom, yeah. So it's definitely more art than, like, a solid story, but it's still a good time.
Yeah.
So go check it out. That's Asteroid City. If, on the other hand, you're looking for something more serious, keep an eye out for this limited release. It might be hard to see in theaters, but Past Lives is coming out this week. It's a romantic drama about two deeply connected childhood friends who are separated when one family emigrated from South Korea to America. Decades later, they are reunited, and they have to confront their relationship and their destiny. The film has pretty much universal acclaim, earning a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 9.1 out of 10. So highly, highly rated. Might be difficult to go find it, but go check it out. That's Past Lives. In television, MCU fans may start to get some answers with the premiere of Secret Invasion on Disney Plus this week. Nick Fury must stop an invasion of shape-shifting aliens known as the Skrulls. This is an event that several MCU films have been teasing, and it could be directly tied to larger events in the previous Phase 4 and the current Phase 5. So I'm really excited to see how this all plays out. Are they going to pull the whole twist of like, oh, everything you thought you knew was secretly aliens?
Aliens.
I hope not, but we'll see. That's Secret Invasion coming to Disney Plus this week. And in Amazon Prime world, I'm a Virgo is a new absurdist coming-of-age story about a 19-year-old man who is 13 feet tall, and he's sheltered from the rest of the world until he's discovered, and the show follows his tale through life and love and meeting his superhero idol called The Hero. It has an 86 on Metacritic, so there's something to this absurdism, and I'm interested to see what it's all about and what a 13-foot tall person looks like.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, go check that out. It's I'm a Virgo on Amazon Prime. And finally, in video games, the next mainline Final Fantasy game comes exclusively to PlayStation 5 this week. Final Fantasy 16 promises a darker tone, a story inspired by the themes and style of Game of Thrones, and according to the developer, the most action-oriented gameplay of this traditionally turn-based RPG series. If you're not sure about taking the plunge, there's a demo available on the PlayStation Store right now. I'm going to be checking it out. I've never played a Final Fantasy game, but with the demo available, I'm eager to give it a shot, see if it's something I might be interested in getting into. So go check that out. That's Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation 5, and that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. We got an update on the Reddit controversy we covered last week.
I don't even know what's going on with these people.
Right. Subreddits went down.
Yeah.
But we survived the purge of no subreddits for, 48 hours?
48 hours, yeah. So it's been a wild ride. We've been talking about it the past week or so. For a little bit of context, once again, Reddit is increasing their API fees that was previously free. Now they're charging for third-party developers to access Reddit's backend to pull posts and comments and all that stuff. And with these increased fees, a lot of third-party developers are not going to be able to, continue working on their apps. They're just going to shut them down, which sucks for a lot of users. A lot of Reddit users use Reddit through mobile apps, right?
Yep.
Also, access to the API allows things like moderator tools and accessibility features through things like the Reddit Enhancement Suite Google Chrome plugin. So it's going to have far-reaching implications for all Reddit users. So in response to this, the subreddits went on blackout mode. They went private. Nobody could access them. After 48 hours, they came back, and there's been even more controversy after they've come back online. The CEO called the moderators landed gentry, basically implying that they're just the wealthy landowners, like lording over their subreddits and forcing the users to do what they want. Really bad messaging from the CEO, like really missing the mark here. So the moderators are obviously pissed off about this. So they decide to come back online with a few creative changes, with some malicious compliance. They said, okay, we're going to open up the subs, but they're allowing all kinds of posts, meaning where they would previously moderate, they are no longer going to moderate. Anything that fits within Reddit's general rules is allowed. That means that normally safe subreddits are just filled with porn and offensive content.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Yep, there you go.
And if it's not porn and offensive content,
Take your damn clothes off.
you'll like this. A lot of subs are opening up, only allowing posts featuring Last Week Tonight host John Oliver.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I've never seen anything like this malicious compliance. I love it. They're like, you want us, because the moderators were threatened. Reddit sent them messages. The admin sent them messages like, if you don't open up, we're going to replace you.
Okay.
Which,
aren't they our volunteers?
and that is something that I'm going to get to in just a second.
Like what?
So the moderators, they were threatened. So like, well, we're going to open up technically, but anything that doesn't break a Reddit rule, we're going to allow. And it's been chaos. And I love watching it burn to the ground. But you're right, though. Moderators are volunteers, which is something that's coming to light in all this that I think Reddit wanted to keep under the rug, because places like Facebook and YouTube, they have to pay their moderators.
Yeah.
Because they see horrible stuff.
That's right.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Like, it's funny, but those are the people keeping the internet safe for the 99% of us that just want to watch goofy cat videos and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like those moderators are like, the Dark Knight, working in the shadows, making sure they're catching all the bad guys before they hit our feeds.
I'm in the dark here.
Yeah. And like,
I'm in the dark here.
like Al Pacino says, we're all in the dark here. We just, take it for granted. Reddit, I think, also takes it for granted because they're getting this service for free. They're like, the moderators, they love their community so much. They're willing to put in this time and this effort and this energy to keep the communities running, to keep them safe. And it's one of their biggest assets because they don't have to pay these people. So it's more profitable for Reddit. But also, it is a weakness for them as well, because if the moderators don't want to play ball, you end up with subs filled with porn and John Oliver and porn of John Oliver. Like, it's
this is weird categories.
It's a weird time. And I am just flabbergasted that
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Yeah.
I'm just
Boy,
absolutely
it's
flabbergasted.
a shame the writer's strike is happening right now. I would love to see what John Oliver's take on this
Oh
is.
my God, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure as soon as it ends, I can't wait to see John Oliver talk about this.
Yeah.
As soon as the writer's strike ends. But this Reddit thing has dragged on for like a weird amount of time, and I'm just shocked that Reddit is sticking by its guns. It's because they're getting ready for a public offering. They're getting ready for an IPO, and they want to increase profits as much as possible. But if they anger the moderators to the point where they won't moderate, here's the great thing. By making their subreddits not safe for work, by making them porn subreddits, by allowing everything, advertisers can't advertise there. So Reddit is killing their site because the moderators are chasing away potential ad dollars. And this symbiotic relationship is Reddit thought they had it one way, and I think they may start to realize it's the other way around. Like, it's the moderators that keep it running, not Reddit.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, wouldn't that come to light then? Like, oh, if the... Well, maybe the advertisers haven't dropped out fully yet.
Maybe.
But they're going to.
I mean,
they don't want to be associated with porn.
Right, and technically, I think I read somewhere Reddit is not allowed to show ads on not safe for work sites. So a lot of subreddits are going not safe for work to prevent ads from being shown there. This includes some big subreddits like the standard ones, like I think it's like our picks and our like just like the generic like best of and stuff like that. So like this is millions of users, you know, going to these subreddits, like casual users, and like like it's just John Oliver and boobs, you know.
It doesn't sound that bad.
It doesn't sound that bad, but like if you're not anticipating it, it's like whoa, you know.
Take your damn clothes off.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all shakes out. We'll keep you guys updated. It's absolutely wild that Reddit has not like come back to the table and tried to negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to happen when advertisers start pulling out.
Yeah. So over the next like week or two, it's going to get a little dicey for Reddit, I think.
Money is the ultimate talking point.
Exactly. They still hope they can weather the storm. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. But you're not done, Mike, because there's something else you want to talk about, and I know this is near and dear to your heart. So let's talk about the fake Spider-Man universe of Sony.
So, like, this is... So we got a little bit of trailer talk here because the trailer for Kraven the Hunter came out, and I'm just so
for those that don't
perplexed.
know, what is Kraven the Hunter?
So Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain. He is a member of what will become the Sinister Six, six of Spider-Man's most deadly villains. He is a former Russian oligarch nobility who's like a big game hunter, right? And he's like, I took down all the biggest of the big game. There's only one thing that I've never been able to take down, the most dangerous game of all, and that's Spider-Man. So he's inspired to go hunt down Spider-Man.
Damn you, Spider-Man!
Right. It's a little bit more convoluted than that. There's like potions involved and stuff, as comic books do. But that's the basic gist of it. He goes to New York to hunt down Spider-Man. You know, they have an on and off again, like cat and mouse thing. At one point, Kraven is able to, quote unquote, kill Spider-Man, buries him alive, takes his suit, becomes Spider-Man, does awful things as Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man rises from the dead. You know, he wasn't actually dead. But then, so it's like, yeah, in comic
really?
In comic books, if somebody's dead, they're like only 20% dead.
Yeah. They're on vacation.
So Kraven is the villain who, quote unquote, kills Spider-Man at one point. So like an important villain, very iconic one. He wears this like lion thing like over his back, like he wears the lion pelt as like a cloak thing, and he's got this thick Russian accent, right? And the trailer came out, and it's just not
nothing of that.
There's just none of that.
We got rid of that.
Nope, none of that.
We don't want any of that. Thank you.
Kraven spoke, and like you watched it with me, and I just started. I laughed. I'm like, that's not Kraven.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, really. Like Kraven from the 90s cartoons.
Hi, I'm
he's
Kraven.
like, I will kill this Spider-Man. And Kraven in the trailer was like, oh, I don't know, man. What are we going to do? Like, he's like some smarmy New York punk. Like, who's playing Kraven? I do not like, I don't even know who the actor is. I do not like it.
But even in the movie trailer, it's still supposed to be in Russia. It's not supposed to be in New York.
Right. This is the thing that confuses me about the Spider-Man universe.
Like, maybe I could see it if they actually transported the entire storyline into New York.
Right. The father is clearly Russian.
Yeah.
Like in the trailer, the father's like, "Oh yes, I am Russian. I am from Siberia," and the son is like, "Oh, Dad, I don't know. I don't like the way you've raised me. I don't get it.
I don't like your accent, Dad."
It's such a stupid thing to be frustrated about. But the man's name is Sergei. Like, that is his name. That is the canon name for this character who was born and raised as Russian nobility. So how does he develop a New York...
He's gonna be now changed to Surge.
Surge. So that's the one thing that annoys me. I don't even need that paper anymore.
Damn, Mike is upset.
So the other thing that has always perplexed me, I'm going to calm down here for a second.
Do you want to use my paper through that
sure.
too?
Yeah, get out of here.
There you go.
So the other thing that perplexes me, and this is the thing that annoys me about Sony, is you alluded to it, the fake Spider-Man universe, because obviously Sony's in this weird thing where they basically license Spider-Man to the MCU, but that also means they can't use Spider-Man currently in their own Spider-Man films. So we've had 2 Venom films, a Morbius film, and now a Kraven the Hunter film. These are all Spider-Man villains, right?
What was it? Sorry.
The Sinister
Six.
So
Super Six.
The Super Six, yeah.
That's actually the lottery tonight.
Might be more interesting than Kraven. So they're clearly angling towards the Sinister Six team up. They referenced the Rhino in the Kraven trailer.
Yeah, that's another
who's
thing, too.
another member of the Sinister Six at times. So,
but also Rhino was he was just a New York guy too, wasn't he?
So yeah,
everybody's just like a New York
like a New York guy. Yeah, there's they're taking all the life out of these characters and they're trying to make them marketable, right? I think it was Jared Leto was Morbius.
Yeah,
and some random I still don't know who Kraven is, just some random smarmy guy. And then the Rhino's the same thing. They're all just and Venom was, what's his name?
It was Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. There's just no life to these characters. You look at the MCU and you look at how they make their characters so unique and so interesting and give them great character moments. And then you come over to Sony, it's just generic everyman is generic villain. And it's so frustrating because they're supposed to be some of the biggest bads in the Spider-Man universe, and they're gearing up for this Sinister Six thing. But I'm still perplexed how they're going to do Sinister Six without Spider-Man.
It's going to be a reverse Avengers movie. Instead of getting the heroes their own origin movies, the villains have their own origin movies. Then they tag up, and then you bring Spider-Man in.
That's so bizarre to me.
Because
is Spider-Man the villain? Is this kind of a Suicide Squad thing where you follow the villains and all the villains are fun guys?
Maybe. But to me, that seems like what the game plan is.
To me, this reads totally backwards.
Because so far, Spider-Man has not shown up in any of these movies.
No, he's.
But Venom has shown up in a Spider-Man movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Venom, yeah. So the 2 universes are very loosely connected.
I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be every villain is an origin story, and then the Avengers team up is going to be the villains taking on Spider-Man in the.
But does Spider-Man win?
What the hell is it again?
The Sinister Six.
I
What
keep
the?
wanting to call it Super Six.
They're bad. Stop thinking about the lottery.
I cannot wait to play lottery.
I cannot wait to play. Yeah.
I think I have a really good chance
I have
to win.
defeated all the other games, but the one game I've never defeated is the Super Six lottery.
I have not had success at lotto.
In Siberia, lottery is just surviving.
I'm going to win tonight, I tell you.
That'd be more interesting than. I mean, maybe I'm overreacting.
I've got Super Six. I've got Cash 5. Which one?
That's right.
Which one do I cash?
Oh,
what is this
man.
Powerball?
What is this Powerball?
There's 7. Oh, there's too many number.
It's just so bizarre to me.
Sorry. Anyway.
No, it's all right. It's it's I don't know. Am I reading this incorrectly? Am I overreacting, or is this truly odd to be focusing on the villains in these origin films, and then like despite it, like you go to the theaters, you watch the Sinister Six, you have all these origin films for the villains. Do they just drop Tom Holland into the movie? They're just like,
boom,
here he is one day.
Yeah.
And then does he win?
They're,
like, do the villains win? Do you leave the theater like, yay, villains? And then what, is Tom Holland dead? Like what is the climax? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what the angle is here.
Yeah, or do they somehow get sucked into the Marvel universe?
Do they all become good guys? Because that's another weird thing I'm picking up here.
Yeah.
Is that all these villains like, oh, Venom, oh, I'm an anti-hero. Morbius is like, oh, I'm misunderstood and an anti-hero. Kraven's like, oh, I murder people, but also only the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, so does Spider-Man force them to become bad? Like,
what wasn't wasn't there like a tagline on that trailer that was like villains are
like villains aren't born, they're like they're made or something like that. So
are we malleable here on like who's a villain?
Maybe.
Maybe they're gonna split them.
Like so, like
maybe they'll take 3 out of the
3 out of the 6 instead of the Sinister Six. There's the terrible 3 and the I don't know, the opposite of
the
terrible.
Talented 3.
The talented 3.
Yeah.
Are they
going to have like
Don't
a
give
split?
Sony any ideas.
Yeah, because you are right. It does seem like they're kind of putting a positive spin on some of these characters.
It's because
that are
like,
supposed to be villains.
Like Kraven is a villain. Like he goes through New York and he's like killing people to get to Spider-Man. And like Venom is also a villain, right? Like psychological torment of Spider-Man. And Morbius is a vampire. He's literally eating people, right? But they got to make it fun for the moviegoers. You can't follow a bad guy. You can't go to the movies and cheer for, an outright. This is an R-rated movie, an outright R-rated movie villain. That doesn't make nobody's going to watch that. You need some redeeming quality for your R-rated villain. Because if he's just eating people, and because like he bit somebody's like throat out in the trailer, which was pretty gruesome for a trailer. Like you can't just follow a guy doing that for 2 hours. Without like making him a good guy somehow.
Yeah.
Like moviegoers, especially comic book superhero moviegoers, won't stand for that.
Or what would really be groan-inducing? Does Spider-Man like save all of them in one movie?
That'd be so annoying.
Every 10 minutes he saves one of them. every 10 minutes he finds a redeeming quality to every member.
So you're saying it's Spider-Man No Way Home, but again with a different Sinister Six.
Yeah.
They also, I just remember, they already did the Sinister Six in a creative way.
Yeah.
In No Way Home.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated. I am so frustrated with Sony's handling of this universe. Because they're going to do it. They're going to do it the worst, most ham-fisted way possible. You're right. He's going to save him.
Yep. That's what's going to happen.
He's like, no, Kraven, remember, just because your father was mean to you doesn't mean you got to be mean to others. He's like, oh, you're right, Spider-Man.
Right.
I won't kill people anymore.
No, he's going to be the New York guy, so it doesn't even have the Russian
Oh, that's
accent.
right. Oh, you're right, Spider-Man. I also talk like you for some reason, even though, like, for 17 years I was born in the heart of Russia.
I came to America. I lost the accent. Everything's great.
I'm so frustrated. Like, that one thing pissed me off so much. I'm like, oh, you're just smarmy guy.
Yeah, there you go. That's what's
this
gonna
should have been
happen.
a what's pissing me off.
Yeah, it really should have been. I should have had that queued
I don't
up.
even like Kraven that much. He's not
now-
even one of my favorite villains. I'm just angry because, like, it's stupid.
Well, you better get ready because you're getting like a full 2-hour movie dedicated to him.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, so there you go. With that, we're going to wrap up the entertainment entree. But,
But things get even stupider.
Yeah, just to make Mikey's blood pressure go up further, we've got the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great. Manda bastards. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. Oh, what does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, on news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing the story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to? And why is it Florida?
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Without fail.
Got to come back home to Florida.
Come back home. It's like a well-fitting glove.
Yep. This one's a brief story, but some lady thought that this was an appropriate thing to do in Florida.
Okay. Already frightened?
Yep. A Florida woman decided on Friday to steal an ambulance with an employee still inside of it, according to cops.
She's not a Christian!
You know, that is a unique twist because we've had people steal ambulances before.
Yeah.
But it's usually they're like leaving the hospital and they're like, how do I get home? I know, I'll just borrow the ambulance. But like this,
See, they usually,
with the person inside, that's unique.
They usually are cognizant enough to remember the fugitive and like try and wait for the ambulance workers to be away from the ambulance itself. No, this lady just hopped in.
So how did the person get stuck inside, though? They're just like, oh, no.
She's in the back.
The ambulance is moving.
She just hopped in and hit the gas.
Wow.
So
do they not lock? I guess you can't lock or turn off an ambulance, because it's an emergency vehicle. Yeah. If you're fiddling with the keys, so they just, keep them on and running and open?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So the Florida woman stole the ambulance after 1 p.m. in the area of University Drive and McNabb Road in Tamarack, according to the local sheriff's office. The woman drove only as far as Pine Island and McNabb roads and then fled onto Sunrise Road. So
why does this area sound so confusing?
It does, but I'm guessing by the sound of this sentence, it doesn't sound like she made it that far.
No,
because an ambulance is difficult to drive if you're not used to it.
Yeah, right.
It's a big weighted thing
it's
at the back.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't know how to handle it, I could imagine that you make a turn. And imagine your adrenaline's going. You're probably putting the pedal to the metal.
It's usually somebody who's never driven, most people haven't driven big service vehicles
correct
before.
Yeah.
I've never driven anything bigger than a minivan, so I'd be all over the place.
Right. So she crashed into a tree on the block of Hiatus Road in Sunrise. Right before the vehicle hit the tree, the woman actually jumped from the vehicle.
Wow. It's like an action movie.
This is literally Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So long, bye, hit triangle.
You jump out and you roll on the ground. The other cars are hitting you.
Yeah.
She's not a Christian!
Just rolling on out. Luckily, Sunrise Fire Rescue immediately reported onto the scene and was able to get the employee out of the ambulance.
Did they send another ambulance? And then the lady gets up from the ground and she's like, ha, that was my plan. It is like Grand Theft Auto. You cause an accident, the emergency vehicle comes, you steal the emergency vehicle, rinse, repeat.
It's just a cycle.
Right.
I'm just going to keep stealing all of your ambulances.
And the EMS driver's like, oh, foiled again.
Well, I mean, I guess not because this said the Sunrise Fire Rescue was on the site.
Oh, so she stole a fire truck.
I mean, if she was going to continue the spree,
Got to keep the streak going. Got to keep the combo going.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no, they were able to subdue her on the scene. And yeah, luckily that employee is okay. She is.
Man, what a wild ride! You're just like you clock in for the day. Next thing you know, you're like trapped in the back of a getaway vehicle.
Yeah, and then you're the one that's in the vehicle as it crashes.
Right.
Not the guy, not the girl that did it. You're the one.
Like, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah. The woman's name was 31-year-old LaCambrick Hannah. What a name.
LaCambrick Hannah.
LaCambrick is the first name. LaCambrick.
Cambrick?
LaCambrick.
LaCambrick.
Yes.
Okay.
What a name. And her last name's Hannah. LaCambrick Hannah.
Okay.
She was arrested on grand theft of emergency medical equipment.
Whoa.
I don't know if we've ever gotten that specific charge before.
No, that's a unique one.
Just
grand theft of emergency medical. What was it? Emergency medical equipment?
Yep. Just say grand theft ambulance.
Grand theft ambulance. Yeah, it's still GTA.
Yeah, it's still GTA.
I like it. That's actually what GTA 6 is going to be about.
Yeah. It's actually based on her
right.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact they say medical equipment. Like, what else could you grand theft under that category? Like, what other medical equipment could you, like a hospital bed? You like run away with a hospital?
That's not grand. That's not grand enough.
That's not grand enough.
Yeah.
2 hospital beds.
I don't know. I think you have to get like X-ray equipment or something. I don't know.
So you run away. You like drive an MRI. Yeah. you somehow like burst out of the hospital with an MRI unit.
Yeah.
That's grand theft medical
Putting
equipment.
a whole MRI equipment stand on just some wheels. And
right.
Just rolling it out.
You just hoist it up on the dolly.
So there you go. That would be the other grand theft of emergency medical equipment, in my opinion. So there you go. All right. And I have another story for you.
All right.
And it is also a Florida odd news story.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yep.
Double
dose. Double dose of Florida.
All right.
Be careful.
Oh, yeah. It's dangerous times.
So I know how much you like these stories as well. So I had to pull this one up. A Florida man is facing a domestic battery charge after he struck his girlfriend with a stake, according to the police.
Anybody can kill you. You can slip and fall in the banana peel. You can get in a car wreck. You can fall off a bridge.
You could have an aneurysm on a toilet. You never know.
Where you could have a stake in the face.
A stake to the face.
Yeah.
People just out there hitting each other with food all the time.
Yeah. Cops say that 32-year-old Joshua Dumar and his 29-year-old victim were arguing on Sunday night in Pinellas Park when the attack occurred. That's the name of the town. That's not. They weren't in a park. That was the name of the town.
That's a good clarification.
Yeah. No.
They're just yelling in the park with they just happen to have a stake on hand.
No. This did happen in a house.
Okay.
That's Pinellas Park is the name of the town. So they got into this argument. The woman then kicked Joshua Dumar out of the house and locked the door.
Okay.
According to the arrest affidavit, the woman then went to lie on the couch when Dumar snuck around the back into the kitchen.
Oh, my God.
Went into the refrigerator, grabbed a frozen steak, ran up to the woman on the couch, and smacked the victim with the frozen steak on her left cheek,
That is
according
so
to the cops.
Bizarre.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's my thing. If you're in an argument, right, I understand, like, heat of the moment, you grab whatever's on hand and like, you're swinging, right? Like, that happens in the odd news.
Right.
But this person had time to, and I'm not advocating for carefully selecting a weapon. Like, don't hit people. Hard stop. But he's in the kitchen. You could choose anything. And you go to the freezer and you're like, aha!
A steak.
This is it. The frozen steak. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Out of everything in the kitchen,
Well, I mean, I think this was
a pot, a pan. Like that's the classic. You grab the pan, bong.
Yeah, but
it's in every cartoon.
Yeah, but I think that would actually do some serious damage. I think.
Well, this did too.
Well, you know,
he thought, oh, I want to hurt this person, but not too much.
I think, and I also think he wanted. To me, it sounds like he also wanted to make a statement, because for the video viewers of our podcast, I have his mugshot here.
Okay.
He kind of looks. He kind of looks like
a douche,
like a douchebag. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if we could say that.
He looks like the kind of guy that was like, now make me that steak in the kitchen, woman.
Got it. Okay,
You know?
so this was a statement steak.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's got the bandana, he's got the cigarette, he looks like he's in a truck too.
He's giving like, I'm so tough.
Yeah.
But you had to sneak into the kitchen and hit your girlfriend with a steak. That's not tough. That's like you're a coward.
He's got the camo hat. Yeah.
What a punk.
Yeah, he looks like one of those guys, yeah, that's trying to be tough, but he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that his weapon of choice was a frozen steak. He probably said something like, "Now make me it."
He's like, "Oh, this is good. This is so creative."
Yeah.
Oh man, that was his mic drop moment. His whole life, that was his mic drop moment, and it was so stupid.
Yeah. Well, if he tries to deny it, he definitely has a tough battle because the whole incident was captured on an inside camera via Ring.
Nice.
So the whole thing has been entered into evidence from that camera. So he has been arrested for domestic battery and booked into the county jail.
Good.
So,
what a loser.
Yeah. Wasting a perfectly good steak like that,
Wasting
too.
a perfectly good steak as well. I know.
Come on.
That's so, now that you bring it up, and you bring up, like, how douchey he was, I can just see him, like, sneak into the kitchen. He's like, oh, this is going to be so good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so creative.
I'm going to make a statement about females.
Yeah. Ooh, get back to the kitchen. Like, ooh. He thought that he was so smart. Like, he was like the Einstein of, like, odd news stories.
Yeah.
Because he had time to plan it out. He snuck in. You're right. He thought he was making a statement because he could have grabbed, if it was heat of the moment, he just would have grabbed anything within arm's reach. But he went to the freezer, opened it up, shuffled through all the things. He's like, aha, I found it.
This will make a statement.
Ugh.
Take that, you bitch.
Take that.
Yeah.
He thought he was so clever.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part. He's like, got him.
Yeah, I think so. Considering
man.
he's got a camo hat, a cigarette, and a bandana in a truck.
He's so tough.
Like, it crosses off, like, perfectly.
Like
just,
all
everything.
the check boxes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think we're losing a miracle worker here when he goes to jail.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
And also, like, of course, you also had to wait till, like, she's, resting on the couch,
Yeah,
too.
that's what I mean. He's a coward. It's just like, if you're going to fight somebody, fight him.
Yeah.
He got kicked out of the house. You lost.
Yeah.
Take your lumps.
Yeah. So.
Go make your own steak.
Yeah. Make your own steak.
That's right.
Crispy Noodle 2023.
Yeah.
Put that on a bumper sticker. Make your own steak.
Make your own steak.
Had enough of this.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's our final word on these stories. Both of them Florida. So there you go. An appropriate way to finish off this episode of the Crispy Noodle podcast. Make your own damn steak.
That's right.
Crispy Noodle 2023. Thank you guys for supporting the Crispy Noodle podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media trends, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the episodes of the Crispy Noodle sent to you every single week. We have that in 3 ways. You can go to our YouTube channel, search the Crispy Noodle podcast, and click that subscribe button so that you know when every episode is released on Wednesdays. Second, you can go on Facebook and watch us on Facebook Watch. So right directly on Facebook, you can watch the podcast straight from there. And number 3, on Spotify. The video podcast goes on to Spotify, but also you can put Spotify in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And you can take us on the go with Spotify. So with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, put us on your Spotify, and you can take us on the go when you're driving around. So
that's right.
Plenty of ways to consume the Crispy Noodle podcast every week.
That's right. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter. Let us know what's happening. If you have a story you want us to cover in sports, entertainment, or odd news, send it our way. Odd news goes to me so that Mikey doesn't see what's happening.
See no evil, hear no evil, all that jazz.
Yeah,
I'm going to speak all the evil, though.
Whatever the other evils are.
Yeah.
But, yeah, send it our way. And if we use your topic, we'll give you a sausage shout-out on the podcast. But for right now, we got to start wrapping this episode up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.